We have been joined by Mr. Arpit Duggar all the way from Dubai. He is a wonderful soul. Whenever I meet him, listen to him, treat him, I always call him Abhishek Bachchan of education and skills ecosystem. And he looks like also Abhishek Bachchan if you'll meet him in person. He's as tall as he is, but the difference is that he's towards Bollywood and acting, and this gentleman is more towards, the education, skills, and competencies and capabilities, and what all can be done with the youth and the teachers and the educators. So today, it's a great pleasure. We are having him, and he's going to share something phenomenal. Take your time, and it's going to be technology in education, which will enable the future fluencies. Hearty welcome, Arpit Duggar ji, all yours. Globe is yours, audience is yours, and I'm also yours.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for such a generous introduction. Very good afternoon, good evening, good morning to people who are joining in from different locations. I am based out of Dubai, but doing this session right now, sir, from Riyadh.
Okay.
So just a small correction in my location while I begin the session.
Okay.
And it's absolutely a pleasure and delight to be speaking about technology and innovation and what kind of myths we have when we think of technology and what is actually required. So long story cut short, I'll just share my screen and we will shoot directly to the agenda. I have some very interesting points to share today. Let me just share the screen. And if, Sir Chitra ma'am, if you can just confirm if my screen is visible.
We can see. There are beautiful cars. Left is yours and right car is mine.
All right. So when we see technology, when we see things around us, so what I have done is a very simplistic comparison so that even a layman understands what we are trying to talk about in terms of transformation of education systems through technology. See, in 1950s, when we talk about mobile phones, actually they were not mobile. So there were those landlines, they were stationary phones. So if you see 1950 and 2022, what is the difference that has happened in communication technology using the phones? And if I actually have to take answers from people, probably everything has changed. Phones have become smartphones. We can do multiple tasks using the same device, which earlier was not possible. If I move forward, what has changed in terms of the vehicles that we use? Again, the answer would be same. Almost everything, except that the car still runs on 4 wheels. But now we even have flying cars coming up. So from 1950 to 2022, each segment, each aspect of technology has changed while we design and manufacture car technology. You move to any sector, any industry, anything around us, things have changed dynamically. 1950, the construction of houses was entirely different. In 2022, more sustainable, green, and design, user-friendly homes have started to come. You look into computer systems. 1950s, in bits and bytes, data was transferred and limited piece of information could be shared. 2022 is what is making us connect today on this webinar. Across the globe, people can join and we can talk to each other. So there has been a rapid transformation from 50s to 22 itself. And this is just 70 years. So every decade, we are seeing a 150% transformation of technology. Now, that's the pace at which technology is moving forward. But when we look into the classrooms of 1950 and 2022, we'll not find much differences. The classroom settings are still the same. The mode of deliveries are still the same. A little bit of tools have got added. Instead of blackboards, now we have some digital screens available or projectors available. But if you look into the overall scenario of how education is being delivered, we have structured timetables, we have dedicated subjects, we have a teacher and a student learning and delivery method. Things have not changed so magnificently the way it has changed with other technologies and things around us. So the question comes, what comes to our mind when we think of technology in education? And if there are certain responses coming in from the audience, That will be great. I can I'll get to know what exactly do we think when we think of technology in education.
The best part
And
is, Arpitji, we will give some rewards, the best answers which you will choose. Let people post on YouTube. Question he can repeat once again. The 3 best answers will get 1,000 rupees each. Please ask the question once again.
Fantastic. So when we think about technology in education, what comes to our mind? What are those things that should get involved while we are talking about this innovation and technology in education? And sir, ma'am, anyone who is there in the panel also right now, you can also give me some responses of what you think. What is technology in education? And this is where I'm going to break certain myths.
People, you keep posting on the YouTube. Arpitji, we can move ahead.
Sure, sir. Sure. And if there is something coming in between, just keep letting me know. I'll take those responses.
Sure.
So when I have asked this question to different educators, school leaders, teachers, parents, students, for that matter, we have come across 5-6 responses. Technology in education. First thing is devices, that you have digital classrooms and screens in school classrooms. You have mobile phones, tablets, you have computer systems. On top of it, then you have internet facility. On top of it, you have digital content, some activities, some engaging content. On top of it, maybe a good learning management system, a good assessment system, some artificially intelligent based tools, and so on and so forth. All the responses which I received during my research for this question, the responses are kind of died down within these 5-6 aspects. That this is what the technology and innovation in education means. So you bring in these hardware and software, and we will be able to transform. There is one response in the chat box. Let me just see.
That is from engineer Dolly Basin, ma'am.
Okay, and what does it say, sir? I'm not able to see the chat here.
Okay, I'll just show it to you. It's right over here. She's writing, ability to learn what I want to learn.
Ability to learn what I want to learn. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think makes...
From the audience also, if you permit me.
Sure, sir, please.
Mr. Amit is writing, learning becomes easy. Hydra writing, interactive apps like Nearpod. Dr. Nisha Singh, 24/7 access. And Ajay, innovative, valuable, awesome. Thereafter, another one, Dr. Nisha, variety of content by experts all over the world, which is available 24/7.
Fantastic, fantastic. Beautiful responses coming in. So,
किसको prize देना है?
Yes, sir. We will give.
Okay.
But let's park it towards a little bit more after a little bit more of discussion.
Great.
Thank you everyone for giving in your responses, and absolute agreement to whatever you said. In terms of 24/7 availability, in terms of what I want to learn, I should be able to derive that, and technology should drive it in terms of its easiness of usage. However, all of this clubbed together transforms into one technology platform or a system which a school should have, along with certain applications loaded on top of it. So, speaking about writing applications, or taking example of Nearpod for that matter, or any question bank or an assessment system, all of this clubbed together makes a system for the school. But today we are going to extend its wings. That what exactly are we trying to transcend to? So technology in education will actually enable future fluencies. So what we have to envision as is, how and what do we use today so that our students are prepared for tomorrow? So the new age technology is diverse and huge. Whatever we just said and discussed undoubtedly has to be, make the base for us to do any kind of innovation in the school. So unless and until we have a good learning management system, a good assessment system, a good school administrative system, we will not be able to create our plans for bringing in innovative technological solutions in the school. Now, what I'm displaying on the screen is something really interesting. Courses and programs on astronomy. So now my take on technology is not limited to what we just said, but the latest technologies on which jobs are getting created, on which massive employment is expected in the coming decade. Those technologies, students should get an exposure, first-hand exposure in the school itself. And they should not be limited to certain industries or certain government organizations or certain private players. They should reach out to our students in its very niche form. So courses on astronomy, courses on rocket sciences, courses on satellite launches. So why can't my students design their own payloads, design their own satellites, and launch it in troposphere and stratosphere? And yes, when I'm talking about this, it's though it is a rocket science, but then it's no rocket science in itself. In a way that once students are exposed to this, it is very much viable for us to get these kind of projects conducted by school students. Technology on drones, technology on aero modeling, technology using 3D printing, technology using robotics, technology using electronics, technology of makerspace, technology of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, virtual reality, mixed reality, metaverse. I mean, if we have to speak about the new age technologies, I think I can go across the day talking about them and the kind of opportunities that they are creating for our future kids. And it's not just limited with computer science and robotics and science as a field. Technological innovations are happening in the field of commerce, in the field of humanities, in the field of every possible field that we see around. So the whole idea is to first try to build and build our vision across what kind of technological innovations should we try to bring in the school. People have been talking about artificial intelligence. The world has started to move towards artificial imagination, mixed reality, blockchains, folding screens, holographic projections, drone sciences, cyberspace, bioengineering, and the opportunities look more exciting than ever. I mean, sometimes when I do sessions with educators, with parents, and we get these feedbacks that, what kind of courses should I get my child into? What are the future possibilities? The competition is so high. It really gets difficult, where my child is gonna land be. To answer to all those questions, I think the simple answer is that we are yet not exposed to what is happening across the globe and what is expected in the next decade. Because once we know that, then we also know that there are millions of job opportunities available. Millions of, thousands of interest areas where a child can get into and do a specific program for it. But we have to kind of drill them down and bring those courses and exposure within the school environment. How to do that, I'll speak about that as well. But this is something that we should start thinking. Now, I was listening to one very intelligent talk of Elon Musk, wherein he said that while we plan to construct roads, the ant houses are destroyed. So we don't plan to destroy the ant houses, but since we are executing a project, they get destroyed in the process. So what he was trying to say is that the kind of artificial intelligence and imagination which is happening across the different industries, many jobs are getting killed by themselves. Nobody is intending to do that, but it is happening in its own natural way. Let me give you an example to showcase this. I have a website here and I'm clicking on it. And I'll show you the power of AI right away. Let me just sign in. This is one website, just an example. Let's see, I have a personal assistant or a social media manager or somebody who's writing copies for me or somebody who's drafting the content for me. And now there is an alternate, which is an artificially intelligent powered tool. So what I'll do is, one example. For example, I have to write a follow-up email. Right. Now it's a follow-up email. Now, what should I do? So currently what do we do is we will either give it to someone just telling the context and the person writes it. Now, instead of that, I'll tell the same thing to a artificially intelligent logic. Okay. And I'll do it right in front of you so that, you will understand where we have actually moved. So let's see, what is this email for? I will write, I gave you a product presentation and want to meet you for a business opportunity. This is my context. What kind of tone do I want to set? Professional, friendly, or whatever. So let's say I want to share a professional tone. Create content. And you will see my email is ready. And multiple templates of that emails are ready. So what I can do is now I can pick and choose from here. Just read this. I'll just read the first one for you. For example, hi, I hope you enjoyed my presentation on that date about our product. As mentioned earlier, we are actively looking for new customers. You have any interest? Could we set up a time to chat? We'll also include more relevant information and resources to further support you. Or I can pick from multiple templates. Now, this is not just an email. I can create social media copies. I can create a social media calendar. I can design my website just by typing a few words. Now, that's the power of AI, let's say in copywriting. Now, the same power of AI is happening across every industry, everything that we see around.
And you're getting multiple options also here for
multiple
text,
options.
Yeah.
Multiple options. And this can go up to infinite. I can keep on, making more options like this.
My God.
Whichever option you like, you can do it.
Wow.
Now, some of the tools, like I'll just show one more. There is a tool of story writing wherein you can just define the plot and the system is going to create multiple stories out of that plot. So which means the AI tools have now embedded with artificial intelligence as well, artificial imagination as well. So the tools are imagining things by themselves and then they are creating scenarios. This is also happening across different fields. Now there are videos which are getting created using artificial imagination. There are photographs. So you just define a scenario and your painting or the sketch or the photograph will be ready. So what is happening? Now, indirectly, this has started to replace multiple job roles. At the same time, it is creating new job roles as well. So our students needs to be skilled enough. Our stakeholders and staff needs to be skilled enough to understand what is there in the future if we have to see next 10 years. Because if somehow we are missing that road, then we are preparing for a doom. We are preparing our children for a big time failure because they will be obsolete from the market. They will not understand. They will not be able to adapt what is going on around. Just imagine a situation. I mean, close your eyes for a moment and just think. If there is a person in 1950 and he has been jailed, let's say, and today we bring that person out and ask him to see things around, to be in this world, I think he will not be able to connect. He will not understand what has happened all of a sudden. Now, this is a gap of 70 years. This gap has started to reduce over a decade itself, every 7-8 years. I mean, if we close our eyes and open our eyes after 7 years, this whole world will be a different world to see. So are we preparing our students for the right? If yes, then what are our strategies? If no, then it's a wake-up call. So how we should create our vision? So the vision with the education systems should now be to provide innovative programs, solutions, services, and systems that tackle industrial and societal challenges, enhance the quality of life, and prepare students for a global platform. Because that is where they'll be able to compete when they enter into their professionals. So every school system, whether it's a group of schools, it's a private school, or as a government body, developing innovative, advanced, and customized projects and programs for the students that bridge the market gaps, boost key sectors' performances, and create a global impact to ensure their readiness of the future. With that mission, we should all start driving our systems. Then only we'll be able to achieve the milestones. So, just to give a fact, the world has changed 400% in the last century. Education systems are yet to match the pace. Be it sports, be it food industry, be it education industry, be it automobile industry, be it space industry, every industry has seen a rapid transformation. So now is a time when we give this transformation and bring this transformation to our classroom setups, to our school setups, and try to, create a broader perspective of technology. That technology, yes, we need devices to communicate. Yes, we need devices to deliver the education. We need devices to understand the data. We need devices to share information. But over and on top of this, we need the know-how on latest technologies and bring them to our school setups. It could be as small as doing certain STEM activities. It could be as big as advanced robotics or rocketry or satellite systems or projects on astronomy. So we need to align, give the space for students to explore. That is the take which technology has taken. So technology should not just be limited to some hardware and software features which can be utilized to deliver the teaching learning in school, but bringing in the contemporary items which the industries are using and industries are demanding. Then we make our students jobs ready, employable. Now, when we speak about technology, when we speak about innovation and what kind of transformation is required, what kind of challenges we foresee, what kind of job opportunities in which fields will be available, and how do we address that? There are certain global challenges which were always there, which will always be. Now, as educators and as education systems, we have to identify the processes which will create some certain sustainable goals. There are challenges coming in energy sector. There are humongous challenges in food. We are 7 billion people in the world, and 30% of them still sleep without the proper nutritious meals. There are challenges in medicine, and the whole world witnessed 2 years back the havoc that happened with COVID. And not just this particular virus. There are challenges medicine in almost all kind of bacterial, viral infections, the different kind of diseases that happen. There are big time challenges in securing our water bodies. And when we talk about these challenges, each challenge is also opening up massive opportunities for people to get employed or to start employing people. So either you become an employer or you get employed, but you have got massive opportunities to work around. There are challenges in management of heat. So the global temperatures are rising, because of which everything else is getting affected. So how sustainable our solutions are going to be, whether I am doing a carpentry work or whether I am constructing a industry. So are my solutions sustainable? Are my solutions contributing to global temperature requirements? Yes or no? If no, then there are multiple opportunities opening up. There are problems with multiple challenges coming in with air security, with data security, with climate changes, well-being. As and when technology is sweeping in, well-being has started to become a big-time issue. So how do we address those problems? How do we address infrastructural related issues, health related issues, space sciences related issues, external bodies, sciences related issues? So there are multiple opportunities opening up. Coming back to the point, the education system should right away think of whether my maths, science, social science, English, Hindi, whatever subjects, the way I am doing that in school is actually making my child employable, is actually giving the right exposure to the children. Yes or no is something that we will have to do an internal audit amongst ourselves. Talking about this, we were just doing some exploration as to what kind of job opportunities have opened up in the recent times. So we see that there are great opportunities opening up for gene designer for crops, human machine teaming managers, user experience designers, smart home designers, 3D printing chefs. So I'm not too sure whether we are exposed of this technology, but food can also be 3D printed now. Buildings can be 3D printed. Equipments, machinery can be 3D printed. Uh, so huge scope in that sector. Exoplanet testers, data detectives, internet lawyers, cybersecurity specialists, drone traffic managers. I mean, there is a huge list of these kind of options opening up across the different fields. So, school systems should deeply invest in technology and strategic partnerships. Now is the point when we talk about, the implementation and its execution towards achieving the final outcomes. But before I just begin that, let me just see if there are certain questions or comments still here.
It's going on fine. It's going on fine.
Okay. If there are any comments in the chat box, please, sir, please feel free to pass it on.
Sure. Please go ahead. It's very interesting session.
All right. So school system should deeply invest in technology. And when we are talking about technology, along with technology, strategic partnerships, which is very important. So each school system now is not an isolated affair. The school should diversify its wings in terms of connecting with industries, connecting with right set of vendors, connecting with certain, for certain master classes, for exposure to internships, for exposure to live projects. So a school should diversify, number one. Second, in terms of strategic partnerships, a school should also try to partner with competitive schools. So usually in education system, we get too construed with whatever we are doing inside a school, and we want to make that as a USP and a highlight. I think each school has got its own USP, and that USP should be shared with the other schools and vice versa. Because then you extend your wings. Because as a school, I may be fantastic in robotics. In parallel, another school is fantastic in sports. So why don't I take my right learnings for developing my sports from that school, and let's have an association wherein I exchange the intelligentsia from that school to my, and kind of a barter system wherein I exchange my robotic intelligentsia to them. And similarly, I spread my wings across the school locally, nationally, and globally. One of the beautiful systems I have seen in most of the European countries, American countries, and to an extent now in India also, wherein the schools have started to partner with schools across the globe. So I take my Model United Nations learnings from one school. I take my robotic programs learning from one school. So like this, a lot of collaboration happens. And then I grow as an institution, and my students get a massive level of exposure nationally and globally. So those kind of strategic partnerships have to be, planned. That is one. At the same time, certain industrial licensing and partnerships also have to be done. Why? If I have got 3 factories in my town, why don't I just partner with them? If I have got 10 corporate houses in my town, why don't I partner with them and ask them, give me those capsule courses which will ready my students for, for the future, or make them employable right away. Give me certain master classes for my students. Give me some internship projects. I'll send my students to your campus and let's do it that way. Give me some, open some job opportunities for us. That kind of industrial licensing is very important. So usually what happens is grade 8, 9, 11, and 12, during that period of time, students, they start to choose their subjects and their streams. And her whole idea and focus is in getting their right marks so that they pass out from schools with all good results and laurels. And after that, the story ends. Now, each individual child has to fight for his own or her own college admissions, understand which kind of courses are available, experiment it at that stage, and then realize, oh, this is a right fit for me, or oh no, this was not a right fit for me. And most of us have been in that that bucket, wherein after completing the graduation we realized, oh, this course was not meant for me. Why did I do it? My interest is in something else. And I myself am an example of that. So during the graduation third year, I mean during my engineering, I realized, no, Arpit, you were not made for electronics engineering. And I was like, now it is too late to realize, because there is only 1 year left. Pass on this degree and then you will figure out what you have to do. It's a horrific situation. Not everyone can cope up, and the future challenges will not allow you to cope up situations like this, wherein you are confused till your graduation and then you are trying to figure out what needs to be done, because by that time world will move forward. Your skill sets will die down. So this exposure at school level is critically important. And for this, I have created certain milestones. So the first milestone which schools should establish is the innovation hubs. These innovation hubs can be low budgeted. These innovation hubs can be high budgeted, depending on what schools want to invest on it. But once you create an innovation hub or a center of excellence in a school, you put that step forward that now I am creating a center of innovation, a center of excellence, wherein I'll bring in the latest technologies, maybe in a phased wise manner. I'll expose my students to certain programs which nobody else is immediately doing. And I'm going to give all creative options for students to explore on these technologies. And then we create a plan, a phase-wise plan for these innovation hubs for 3 years, that every year, these are the things that I'm going to add to this innovation hub. So today I start with basic robotics. Let my students take a hands on this. Or today I start an astronomy club in the school and let students get exposed to studying the space. Today I have got 5 telescopes in school, basic telescopes. Tomorrow I'll go for motorized telescopes. Then I may go ahead. So I'll create my plans for the technology in a phase-wise manner. This is your innovation hub, wherein you first decide that you want a technology hub, or innovation hub in the school. And then we should start shortlisting what exactly fits our audience and what is viable for the school to do. That is one. Immediately after that, so usually this is a gap. We establish an innovation hub. We hold on for a year or two for it to, come in its own momentum and flow, pick, gain momentum. But then we lose out a lot during that process in terms of time and effort. So while we are establishing our innovation hubs, related with the technology that we are trying to bring in the school, we should initiate our strategic partnerships. I'll take an example. If I am bringing a course on rocketry in the school, and I want my students to launch hydro rockets, to launch propeller rockets, to launch multi-stage rockets. So what I need is, I need design. I need the understanding of the science and technology behind the design and the launch. Third is testing. So creating the prototypes and models and testing it. And fourth is the live launch. So these 4 stages, if I have to create in my school, for all these 4 stages, I can either tie up with a particular company which is already doing it and bring in an internship or that intelligentsia in the school, or I can tie up with multiple different vendors also. Example, if I'm talking about propeller rockets and if it uses a fuel, so why don't I actually tie up with an expert who can give us details on how the fuel can be used, which kind of fuel is used, what if, so the whole science behind that fuel. So wherever the raw materials are being sourced, those people can be invited to the school systems to talk about it. Why that particular raw material? Somebody who's providing the intelligence of compiling all that raw material into a final product, bring that person to school. That why you have selected this, why not this? Let that person deliver all the knowledge that they have. That is how our students are going to understand all the permutations and combinations behind a technology coming in. Otherwise, it ends up as school projects. And the story dies down there. So any technology which comes into the school should not just do some level of stopgap arrangement. There should be a defined outcome which we are trying to achieve by that particular program. So today, if I'm teaching my students that you launch these rockets at 800 feet of height, my students should also understand that if they have to go beyond 800 feet, what is required? If they have to enter into troposphere, what is required? If they have to cross stratosphere, what is required? Can they do projects like these? What are the ethical issues around it? What are the security issues around it? So it should be a holistic kind of program, because then they develop themselves as people who can be employed in the industry, right? And the project just not dies down as a fancy project. Oh wow, we have created a rocket, we have launched it, clap around it, click some photographs, publish on social media, and move on. So that is something that should come into the planning while education systems, schools primarily, are planning for their innovation and innovation hubs and center of excellences. So these strategic partnerships are critically important. How they should begin is, as I said, the vendors, the suppliers, and the local industries around. Step one is that. Step two, the industries or the industrial intelligentsia which is available nationwide or across the globe. So with that, the programs will grow in the school. Year on year, you will be able to enhance the technology without without creating much of budgetary issues within the school. So that's how I believe the milestones can be achieved. Any questions so far? I think there is something in the chat box.
That was earlier, I think, not now. Let me check up once again. Ability to learn. Good morning, forum. This is Anu ma'am. She has joined from Canada.
Okay. Okay.
Meanwhile, meanwhile, few questions have come.
Sharma ji, I have also joined.
Yeah, I know. But you have not asked anything. That's what Anu ji has asked. Okay, I'll just take 5 more minutes because we are going ahead with Arpit Duggar ji. Arpit Duggar ji is taking the session right now. Dr. Sahab, hearty welcome to you. He's our Ayurvedist, the legend from India. At present, the session is on from Dubai. No, Riyadh, sorry. Not from Dubai, Riyadh. He's in Riyadh today. So, Arpit ji, please go on and then we conclude the session. And sure, Dr. Saab, sure. Dr. Saab, you take little more rest because you had fallen this morning. That's what I learned from Chitra Kapoor, ma'am. Can I get you with Professor Jagdish N. Sheth in the valedictory session, who has been appointed as a patron of the ICSI today and who has been given Padma Bhushan by the Prime Minister? I get you in program at 7 p.m. Dr. Saab, 7 p.m. Till that time,
all my pleasure.
You had been giving global wellness. You had been giving global Ayurveda. Today, we wish for your early recovery and you should be all right. Everything fine. I get you back at 7 o'clock, sir.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
I get you at 7 o'clock. Thank you, sir. Pranam, namaskar. Arpit ji, please go ahead.
Resuming. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, were there any particular questions or
there were questions. I left in between. Just a second. Mathematics have graphics. Claudia from Northeast Education Technology. Deepa Hazarika, Ajay, and then Nancy Sangma. Revival after Kim Kepkin. There was a question. Dr. Nisha Singh is writing. Is it possible for our schools to afford resources for these options? I don't think so. India is prepared for it.
Wow.
That's what is the question she asked.
I was actually expecting, that the question on affordability should definitely be asked, because when we talk about technology, the first thing comes is that it's not affordable. To the contrary, I would say technology which is not affordable.
She is a mathematics teacher working on music for mathematics. She's developing a technology how the music can be used to learn mathematics.
Mathematics.
Yeah.
Many kudos to you, ma'am, because yeah, mathematics is a subject which is often considered as a rote-based learning subject, and students find
Oh,
great difficulty in that.
I didn't know that it
So
is your favorite subject. I had forgotten that. Now I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Now I remember. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So, ma'am, contrary to your point, any technology which is not affordable, ideally is not a solution, to be talked about. So, very rightly said, when we think of, let's say, rocket systems or satellite design systems or astronomy or robotics, metaverse, augmented reality, virtual reality, all the courses which I was referring to, the first thing that comes to our mind is it is a intensive budgeting program, because these programs have been limited to either big government agencies or big private players, and it has not dwelled and reached out to masses. But the good part is that now this is not the case. So from 2019 and 20, there are organizations, including ours, there are private other players who have started to defragment and simplify this technology. So when earlier we used to say it's not a rocket science, do it. Now we say it's rocket science, do it. So start doing it. So there should be a vision wherein, in terms of affordability, uh, your innovation hubs can start with low budget, as low as Indian rupee 50,000. It can go as high as 5 crores. So it entirely depends how we want to start it, and what kind of budgeting we have, and what program. So not everything is to be done at single point of time. But if I have to design, give a rocketry program to my students, I think 50,000 is a good enough amount to give that exposure. If I have to bring in a basic level of robotics in my school, perhaps a 2 to 2.5 lakh rupees is good enough to invest. So we don't need to invest in high-end technologies at the base stage. First, we need to set the pace right. Our students should get an understanding of what they are doing and why they are doing. Our parents' community should get that understanding that the school is trying to bring in these kind of programs for the better good of everyone in future. And then you keep on enhancing, because technology is something, as we speak, things are changing. So it is moving on with that pace. Definitely, unless and until we make it too affordable, it becomes challenging. Again, repeating, good news, ma'am. We do have highly affordable solutions for